Guys and gals, Froggy here. What I'm trying to do today is make a shim, a brake pad shim. What that is when your pad material wears down, let's say halfway, and you don't really want to throw the pads out yet. You want to get a little more use out of them, but you don't want to have a soft or a long pedal. Sometimes one technique is to put a shim in back of the brake pad. This would be the shim that I'm making now. I'm chipping off the old pad material. Now let's say this is a good brake pad that's next, it's against my rotor. I would stack that one in back of the good one, just so that the pistons don't come out of the caliper as far as they want to. And keeping the pistons back in the caliper is a good thing. Usually you don't want them coming out too far. This is for high performance driving. For street driving you don't really ever have to do this, and you guys and gals that street drive only probably don't know what I'm talking about, but for those of you that look at my performance modifications, that's what I'm trying to do, is create a shim. You can buy shims, you can buy titanium shims, you can buy shims in different thicknesses, and I know a guy who tried this, and I'm going to give it a try myself. I'm just going to chip off all this material. I'm going to sand it a little bit down so that it's just a piece of metal, and I'm going to try and put it, these are my rear brakes, so I'm just going to put it in back of my pads. It'll be held in the same position by these little ears on either side, so it's not going anywhere. It's like increasing the thickness of this backing plate a little bit, is all it is really. So that's what I'm doing now. I'll get you caught up when I get a little bit further along. Yeah, I've got most of it off. I used a small hammer and a small chisel instead of a big hammer and a big chisel. It seemed to work better. Now I've got a belt sander. I could use a grinding wheel, but I don't have a grinding wheel. And I'm going to get the rest of this off, and I'll show you that when it's done. Okay, well I got that pretty clean, and it didn't come off as bad as I thought it was going to be. So let's orient this again, so you understand. Make believe this is a good pad. This is a worn out pad, but make believe it's a good pad. It has pad material right here where my finger is. But it's halfway worn down. I'm going to back it up with this. Now, this particular pad, a rear brake on a C5 Corvette, has these little nubs sticking out here, 1, 2, 3. You see them? So I'm going to have to drill out. It looks like there's already 3 little holes here that line up. It has, has to do with how they make these, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to drill those out, and that should nestle right up together like that. And I'll probably put some of that red gluey stuff, that anti-squeal. It's actually, this is where the piston comes out. This was an inside pad, so this is where the piston comes out. So you put it around there, so the piston and the pad kind of stick together a little bit in a sense, and it prevents them from squealing. So I'll probably put that in between these two. What I'm saying, hold them together. Let me drill those holes out. Well, there it is. It looks like it should work. This is my, make believe, my half worn down pad. This is my shim. It nestles together like that. So it's just like I'm making this pad backing plate a little bit thicker. And it looks like about, well, let's see how many millimeters it is. I'll measure it. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this one-handed and show you, but I'm going to try. I zeroed out my caliper. Well, it's about 6 1/4. I'm at a little bit of an angle here, so I can't really call it 6 millimeters. So the standard thickness of the C5 Corvette pads are well, I'm not sure. I think they're 12 millimeters. Actually, I've got some. Let me check them out. Front pads, they're front and back are going to be the same thickness. They're a little more than HP plus pads. So, I'll have to get my knife out, and, but I'll measure one for you. Hold on a second. See, Froggy can one-hand this. The backing plate .3, and the overall .7. So call it 5.2, 14.7, 9.5 millimeters pad each side. So that's 19 millimeters of pad. And I'm going to put in a shim. Let's say that's half worn down. That's 10 millimeters is gone. And my shim was 6, wasn't it? I think my shim was 6. Yeah, 6.4. So yeah, that'll put my pistons back into the caliper, and I think that'll make a nice backing plate. And I suppose I could put, I can't quite put 2, unless they were, if the pads were worn down about 2/3 of the way, which is really worn down almost to the point where you want to throw them away. But if you were street driving it, say, and the pads were 2/3 worn, you had 7 millimeter of pad left, you could put two of those shims in and get your pistons back into the calipers. So anyway, I'm going to call this part 1, and this will be just the creation of the shim, and then part 2 will be sticking it in the caliper. I'll do a different video for that one. Okay? So if you like this, give me a thumbs up or a like. If you want more from Froggy, subscribe to my channel. It's free. If you want to tip me, upper right hand corner, the eye in the circle. I'll see you later, guys and gals. Have a nice Memorial Day weekend. Don't forget why we have Memorial Day. Thank you to all you guys and gals who served our country. See you later. Bye-bye.